Okay, I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. It's so cold today. 25 below. This is a boiled Austrian boiled wool sweater. It's so thick. It's just thick. It's just tight. And apparently, I bought it back in the probably in the 70s, late 70s, and it was the sweaters they would wear climbing the Himalayas because they were the world's best. And I've had it since then, and it's just pleasure. But it's so warm you can only wear it when it's 25 below. So we make do out here in the world. Now, one of the things I promised you was to go get some memorable Super Bowl ads. So I want to take you back to one of my favorites. Yesterday was that Apple ad. Let's make sure I got the desktop ready. Yeah, everything's ready to go. And here we go. Notice the storytelling in this one. Just the way he limps down the ramp, and just you'll be able to see it once it gets going. I hope.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help? I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
Isn't that great? You know, that just blesses me. And it's Mean Joe Green too, which is great. I'm going to switch over here to this article. I found a new news source, businesslive.co.za. I don't know where ZA even is. And this guy, really good article. I'm going to have to write to the author. I don't see the author mentioned on here. But anyway, what this guy says is that before technology, before we really could measure everything, and you've heard my thoughts on measurement vis-a-vis vis-a-vis creativity and storytelling. And he says, in the pre-modern marketing, we centered on storytelling, big idea, creativity, and campaigns that evoked emotion. Okay, that's got me all choked up. That Mean Joe Green ad. Best Super Bowl ad ever. Yeah, I'd say so. Anyway, you can vote. Tell me what you think is your best Super Bowl ad. We'll be doing a couple more Super Bowl ads in the next week or so after the Super Bowl. Of course, we'll review some of those. But great storytelling. I watched an Axe commercial, and it compared. We're going to do that next. Compared the new ad where it's just the old ad. We're not going to do the Axe one because it's just massively sexist, sort of. I don't know if it is or not. It's kind of empowering women and kind of makes the man look stupid. But in a funny way, and I can see it would sell a lot of deodorant. Whereas the new one, I just hate the new one. It's just like I would never want to buy that stuff. Oh man, it's just a downer. Anyway, but this guy explains that pre-modern marketing centered on storytelling, big idea creativity, and campaigns that evoked emotion. Now, I would argue that direct marketing was the ideal fit for that, and the way we tested and the way we measured, but none of you know what that means. In pre-marketing, storytelling was the order of the day. In modern marketing, it's all about marketing technology, and he's sort of bemoaning that, and I think that's probably right. He says what's going on is that now we're merging the two, and we're getting the stories connected with the measurement, which is, of course, what the catalogers have always tried to do. If you think about the early Land's End catalog, most of you weren't alive. I have my Land's End turtleneck on. Most of the early Land's End catalogs talked about And by early, I mean when they got into the apparel and stuff. They talked about the sheep on the hills of New Zealand or somewhere, Tasmania, and how careful they were and how they raised the sheep and all this stuff. And they measured, but they also told a story. And I've always loved that picture. And this guy says, now that we've got the sort of the marketing measurement going, we need to go further, and we need to tell the story along with it. And, Bob Hacker, great copywriter. Bob was talking with me about a year ago because he was going to relaunch his agency. I got to find out what happened to him. And he said, all today, and this was a year ago, it's all about getting to the buyer at the exact right moment in time. Getting to the buyer when they're making a buying decision. But he said what people don't realize, marketers don't realize, is that just getting there isn't enough. Think about all the restaurants, in a restaurant area. You're going to eat somewhere. Where are you going to go? And you think about the factors that go into that decision. And they're all right there at the right time. But one of them you pick and the others you don't. He said just being there at the right time isn't enough. That's storytelling, you see. Isn't enough. All the car dealers lined up in a row. Just being there at the right time is not enough. It's not enough. And I don't even know why sometimes. I'm trying to find a new quality, high mileage car. And I've been buying Lexuses for about 15 years, and they're making them junkier by the minute and more electronic. And I don't like the electronics. I like to rip that all out because eventually it's going to go anyway. It's the first thing that goes. The engine isn't likely to go, but the sensors on the engine are. And they're as expensive as fixing the engine because you got to take the engine apart. Anyway, that aside, I think this guy's really onto something. I think we need to combine measurement and storytelling. And that was a great example. Now, I found another good article that I really liked. And they had the 10-year challenge. And I just want to show you how technology and creativity merge. This ad is the 10 years ago, the Swedish Tourist Bureau or something. This is Sweden, okay? I don't know who sponsored the ad exactly. Doesn't say. And it goes on like this. Almost monotonous scenes of Sweden. I love this one. This is summer and the lady's standing there in the rain. Somebody should have been fired just for that. Now that one, on the other hand, that was cute. Okay, so this is the way they did it before. Now look at this one. This is unbelievable.
You will soon be connected to a random Swede somewhere in Sweden.
How do they do that? I think I know how they do it. I want to call that number.
Hello, Sweden speaking.
This is so cool.
Hallå?
See, you'll never get this on your regular news articles.
It's morning here.
Yeah, I know a lot about hunting, fishing and moonshining.
Listen to this!
Cool! This is so cool!
That's how we do it. It's easy.
Bye-bye. Thank you for calling Sweden.
Look at that. Okay, so what I think they're doing is they must offer an app to Swedes. Oh, I'm going to be ending again. And I just realized that I don't promote this at all. It's like We're on at 10 Chicago time every day for 10 minutes. That's it. You'll find out things you never will find in the news. This is the only marketing news show, daily marketing news show live in the world. The only one. Tell your friends. Watch it together. It's not that long. It's not that hard. Anyway, I think they got a bunch of Swedes to download the app, and then, you know, when you're doing what you're doing, all of a sudden the app comes up and it says, "Do you want to answer a Sweden call?" And if you hit yes, it might connect you. It might not. Probably there's enough people, you know, so it doesn't bother anybody that doesn't want to get bothered. Now that is fantastic. That is what I'm talking about. Integrating people with technology. You probably heard it here first. Like and share.